Now, with that said, guys, what should we be doing right now? What should we be doing as we speak? If we're just a regular consumer here in America, what can we do to be preparing for a potential labor market that may go south in the next 6 months? So I'm going to give you a few of these things, and we want to think about these things while the unemployment rate is low. Before your mass layoffs happen with the federal government, what are we doing right now before all that takes place to prepare now, right? So the first thing is this. You want to make sure you fortify your emergency fund, right? Your 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, just in case, right? Why? Because when layoffs hit, typically there's a hiring freeze that goes behind that, especially you're talking about federal government, right? And when you have some cash laying around, some emergency money in case something goes wrong, that gives you some options. It buys you some options, or at least provides a safety net for you that you may need in case you lose your job, or in case. And then also you want to maybe consider adding a second stream of income, right? If you're only relying on one job, that could be a problem. You're putting yourself at major risk by only relying on just one job, right? Whether it's freelance work that you do on the side, whether it's a side hustle, whether you have some rental income, rental property, or you have your own business, or some digital products that you sell, something else to make sure that you have some other sources of income is always going to be helpful. Right now, the job market looks good on paper, right, on the surface, but it's still sort of fragile in the background, right? It feels strong, but there's some potential problems that you got to watch out for. So you don't want to rely just on one check. Right? One check used to be safe. It ain't safe no more. And then you want to consider upgrading your skills right now. Everything looks good on surface. Unemployment is fairly low. Go ahead and update your skills, especially your AI skills and your tech skills, your skills that are going to provide you opportunities down the road, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. They're going to be big in the tech space. There's other spaces as well, but if you can start to understand and learn the AI space or the tech space, that's going to set you up nicely for the future. You're going to learn skills that are going to be needed and necessary across various different industries, right? The time is really over for just getting a social work degree, 4-year degree in social work, and that's it. You can't do that anymore. Those days are over. You need to consider learning maybe prompt engineering, right? Maybe some type of data literacy, digital marketing, cybersecurity, understanding large language models. Remember, if your job somehow disappears, these new skills in these new areas are going to provide sort of a parachute for you and some safety. Then another thing you can do right now is track your net worth, meaning your assets and your liabilities, and trying to reduce those liabilities, trying to reduce that bad debt that you have on things that are not increasing in value, right? Because if you don't measure it, then how are you going to improve it? You want to know where you stand financially and then concentrate on lowering those liabilities. So tracking that net worth is big. And then you can review your expenses and cancel any unnecessary expenses, unnecessary subscriptions, right? The time to cut out the fluff is before your income gets slashed in half. And another thing you can do is position yourself at your current job. In other words, make yourself at your current job the go-to person. Become an expert at what you do. Become a person that's going to be difficult to fire, hard to let that person go, right? You don't want to be the person who's easy to let go. You want to be the person they need your expertise, right? Your knowledge is important. Your good attitude, your willing attitude is important, right? So you're adding value. You're cross-training so you can do a lot of different things at your job. You're leading something. Why? Because when budget cuts come because of tariffs or because of a slowdown or because they want to get rid of some people, when they want to cut the budget, the people who are the most visible and the most valuable, they can stick around for a while. It's the people who are invisible, who the operation can go on without you and they don't even need you. That's the people who typically are going to get cut first in a lot of instances. So hey, volunteer on your current job, volunteer to solve that problem or that issue that has been plaguing the company for the last 5 or 10 years. Nobody can figure this thing out. Volunteer to solve that thing. And then, of course, pay attention to these hidden risks that you see that are around you. Listen, there's a lot of local, especially small, local economies that are tied to the federal workforce that is near there. Or sometimes the federal workforce is easily the largest employer in a smaller city. So if we're talking about federal layoffs on a mass level at the federal level, then guess what? That's going to trickle down to the local shops that are right in that same area that service all of those federal employees all the time, right? You got to be aware of that. Even in some of your large cities, like say Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C., if they slash 10% of the federal or 15, 20% of the federal jobs there, it's going to affect all of the ancillary people and workers and ancillary businesses that are around the federal employees, right? So entire communities will ultimately feel the brunt of these mass federal layoffs that may be about to take place. So here's the deal. You don't prepare when layoffs come. You prepare now before they get here. While everything still looks fine, while the unemployment rate is still 4.1% and it looks like it all looks good and everything, you need to start preparing right now. Don't wait for the big old tsunami to hit before you actually get ready. So I hope I was able to give you a quick idea of where the labor market currently stands and what this Supreme Court ruling was all about and how it will affect you. And I hope I was able to give you some things that you need to be doing right now. It's going to put you in a better position and prepare you. If you got value out of this quick video, do me a favor in the comments below. Just say, I got value. That really lets me know that this was helpful for someone. Also, smash that like button. But more than anything, do me a favor and share this video. Remember, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Guys, take good care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.